Welcome, comadres. Welcome to the full moon in Virgo. So happy to share space with you as always. I am Marlene, your resident moon goddess. And I just want to start today by taking a collective breath, a collective comadre breath together. Because there has been a lot of Aquarian energy from the beginning of this year, and that could feel weird, that could feel electrifying, that could feel a little bit alien like. So now that the planets have moved into Pisces, we are feeling that Piscean vibe. We're feeling a little bit lighter. Things are kind of airing out a little bit, even though it's a water sign, but I don't know, I feel like new winds, right? And that could be maybe winds of change. So let's just settle in the space that we occupy right now and take a nice collective deep breath. And as you exhale, honoring everything that's changed for you. Let's take another deep breath. And then let it go with a nice sigh as you relax into your body while you're taking this information and while you're absorbing the light of this full moon. So Virgo, this, ladies, is the best energy that we have felt since the beginning of this year, or maybe even the end of last year. Like, this hasn't been available to us in a while. And there's so much beauty. And before we started, I sat in silence and I just asked the moon what she wanted to say to you, what she wanted to share with you. And I just listened, and she wanted me to talk about the full moon and the magic that is available to you during a full moon. And especially a moon like this, because she said that she wanted us to create beauty. Now, whatever way that we did that is really up to you. Whether you want to create ritual, and that's a very good one, and we'll talk about why in a little bit. Whether you want to just move into your daily routines that make you feel healthy. Art, music, any kind of creativity. Cleaning your home, purifying your home. When we're talking about Virgo, we're talking about a focus on purity and grace. And she loves perfection. That's why some Virgos can get stuck in their own way, because they want everything perfect. You know, look at Angelique. She's like, yes. You know, and in that perfection, for that reason, she values, Virgo specifically, values self-improvement, values order and routine, likes things tidy, likes to be intentional about everything that it does. It loves detoxes. You know, so if you've been thinking of doing a detox, this is the time. She's smart, she's witty, values beauty from within, health from within. Again, she's very, very intentional and funny. I mean, have you hung out with Virgos? They're very good at telling jokes and very witty. Yes, I love hanging with Virgos because they get my humor. And it was funny because I saw a astrologer earlier in the week, Queer Cosmos, and he was saying how he loves Virgos because they make him belly laugh. And I really connected with that because I have some Virgos in my life that I could just really laugh with for a long time. So it's all about that pure joy. So connect with that within what you do in the next few days, and begin to embody those things that Virgo is asking you to embody. Be transformative in the way that you care for yourself on a daily basis. When we're talking about Virgo, it values routine, daily activities, how you get those things in order. How do you organize? Loves to organize, you know? So, in which ways can you invite Virgo routines or that Virgo vibe into your daily life? You know, it works. It's good. It really, really, really grounds you. And this full moon is lighting that for us. The sun is in Pisces, thank God. Um, the Venus is in Pisces. Um, Neptune is in Pisces. So now we have 3 planets in Pisces, 3 planets in Aquarius. In Aquarius, we have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So there's a little bit of a distribution of planets that we're beginning to feel. And maybe that's that balance and that lightness that I was talking about before, because things feel more balanced. But one thing that is really, really amazing about this full moon is that magical quality that it has to it. Virgo, when I was talking to this Virgo full moon, she asked me to read this to you because there's opportunity here in specifically this full moon. This is from Moon Spells by Diane Alkitz, and she describes the full moon, the moon's most powerful phase, when we see her entire illuminated face. This is a time of fulfillment, activity, increased psychic ability, for perfecting ideas, getting your act together, celebrations, and renewing commitments to people or projects. The best time for spells of any kind. And specifically in this full moon, since now Mercury is direct, since now the planets are a little bit more distributed between Pisces and Aquarius. And we have to remember that at this point in the zodiac with Aquarius and Pisces, like we are like out of this world. Like after Capricorn, it's like Aquarian, it gets weird. And then Pisces, we're in dreamland. Like we're in a no boundaries kind of space with Pisces. Okay. So what does that mean? Magical, magical, magical moon available to us. So rituals. This is a good time to either perform a personal ritual, perform a ritual with people you trust, friends, or set forth certain spells of manifestation. In this full moon, I feel confident in saying to you, go for spell work. Because now Mercury is direct. Yes, it's still through its shadow phase, which we'll get into in a little bit. But now there's a little bit more balance between these 2 houses, these 2 planets. Magical time going forward and well into March as well. So don't feel like you have to rush into that magic either, right? This full moon can bring in that illumination. But use those Virgo things to plan out this ritual really well, you know? Get specific, put things in order, use impeccable words. There's a lot of manifestation energy around this moon. And if you can pull in that Virgo order, that love of perfection for everything it does, and creating beauty, it's in a pure way, right? So maybe you have time to even perform a detox before you do a ritual. Like now you have like a time space well into March that this energy is going to be available. And maybe you could be like, okay, well, I want to be in my purest channel. Virgo is reminding me of being in my purest channel when I do this ritual. So how can I use this Piscean time to get my body clear or get my mind clear, become a better channel, a better vessel for those things that I want to bring into my life? Here we get to be specific and we get to have fun with it too. You know, use this balance of magic to apply those concepts to your ritual work. And then your results have that much more potential to be as specific as you want them. And also allowing the energy of the divine, of the creator, to meet you halfway, because we don't always know what the right things for us are. So, be in that space of fluidity with Pisces, but then use that order and that grace and that reminder of keeping things healthy and tidy to really set order to those intentions, right? So consider this. Mercury is in its shadow. And what does that mean? When Mercury goes retrograde, it goes through a space it has already traveled, right? It goes, or appears to go, backwards in that space. The shadow period is that space that then again it has to go through, that it has once traveled already. So yes, we're out of Mercury retrograde, but there are things to consider in its shadow phase, because here is where we get to see the fruit of what the retrograde brought us. Here is where we get to see all that stuff that came up. How did my soul evolve? What changed? Are there any loose ends that I need to consider? What needs to complete, or what is coming into understanding? What did that retrograde bring in that way? Analyze. Virgo is a lot about analyzing as well. They have an analytical mind. So analyze all of this data that it has given you. We have the North Node in Gemini. I always talk about the nodes, the nodes of the moon, and the North Node tells us where we're going. The North Node is in Gemini, right? So there is this mercurial kind of energy available to really analyze and make changes, but around Virgo principles, really set things in order. How is this going to make sense? Okay. So consider those things as you are setting your intentions. Be intentional about everything. That's how you get the most out of this moon. And remember the magic that is available. I heard another astrologer today call the 3 planets in Pisces the angel team, because it's like, oh my God, yes, like give me some Sun and Venus and Neptune. Like, yes, that's like poolside, with like amazing like poolside music, maybe some reggae, like the planets, Maya, that are in Pisces are Venus, Neptune, and the Sun. So this angel team she was referring to, because it's bringing with it a little bit of that angelic magic with it. It's taking, but not balancing, but taking some of that Aquarian and energy that we just came out of and giving a little bit of a higher, even more higher vibration, but in a more dreamy and still out of this world, but it's water and it feels everything. Like it's a fish in water. That's the symbol of Pisces. A fish has no protection. It's just in the water feeling its way through. That is what Pisces feels in that big way, right? For the collective. So a big question is one of the ones that I mentioned to you. How did your soul evolve? I was reading about how the North Node being in Gemini will really set precedent, or like highlight the Mercury retrogrades this year. Since the North Node is in Gemini and it's directing us where we're going, the retrogrades are real important this year to really, introspect and really get real with yourself about how your soul is evolving in this lifetime, whether that be in relationship, career, the way you personally maybe sabotage yourself or work against yourself. So after every retrograde now being one of the opportunities, but then think about it later on throughout the year, take these retrogrades to really, really, really set time aside for you. Solitude, introspection, journaling time, things that make you go within, things that help you see things that are hidden, right? And then when you're coming out, and use the shadow phase to come into understanding of those things, to come to a realization, okay, what was that retrograde showing me? This happened. How does that fit with me? How does that make sense? And how did my soul evolve from these situations? Okay. And I thought that was fantastic, fantastic advice, because this is how we use the astrology. This is how we use the moon to set forth our intentions, to set forth our soul's purpose. You know, she is here to illuminate that, whether it be in a full-on way sometimes or in a real quiet and introspective ways. Use the phases of the moon to allow you to create and manifest what you want, because it's available to you. And for those of you that have been, you know, on my moon reports often and listening to this, you've picked up a few things that you can use with every, you know, look back on your notes, look back on these moon reports that are available to you. How did that energy express itself? You know, how did that work? And then do like I did this morning, sit with the full moon. You know, sometimes it doesn't feel good to sit right on the full moon because it's too crazy. Like sometimes I feel too much. Last night I was really able to breathe into the moon and like sit with her. But sometimes it's too erratic. So understand that this energy is available to you 3 days before and 3 days after the specific moon energy. So you can sit with her 3 days before, you can sit with her a day before, a day after, you know, and open that channel of communication where you're feeling into it. The moon, it reminds us to feel, reminds us to use our emotions as a guide, use our emotions as a warning system to let us know when we're going in the wrong direction, or when it is that our heart is just wanting us to go straight into it. You know, don't be afraid to move in those spaces with the moon, you know, but also listen to your body. If your moon is like, no, not this full moon. I mean, if your body is like, no, not this full moon, then no, not this full moon. Maybe this is not the one for you. Maybe your natal chart is being aspected in a weird way, and you sit under the new moon, and then, I mean, under the full moon, and then the next day you wake up crazy. It's happened, you know? So really feel into your body. Virgo is all about using your daily routines to ground you to the earth, using your daily routines to ground you into your body, your vessel, and how to keep that channel as pure and as healthy as you possibly can. Okay? So thank you so much. Enjoy this beautiful, beautiful full moon. I'm really enjoying it. I hope that you are too. Thank you for listening and supporting these moon reports. I absolutely love sharing space. And if you can join us live in Mighty Networks and the events page, you will always find the Zoom link for you to be here if you are a comadre. If you are watching this on YouTube and you are not a comadre, maybe you should be. So find some information, get a hold of us. And thank you for being here. Have a great one and have a great weekend.